Hey everybody, Wuju here, time for yet another Medic Mail Day. Hasn't been quite as long this time, but probably going to be quite a gap between this one and whatever comes up next. So, got a lot that I picked up, only keeping one. I've already got the rest of it sold. Have the 4 new Hall of Fame autographs to show off. One quasi-upgrade I'm not sure if I'm keeping or if I'm going to end up reselling it. Future-proofing the collection and some huge upgrades, and there's 5 cut autographs besides the little lot that I have here. So, including one, I've only seen 2 that exist of this player in a card. You can get autographs of him, but yeah. So we'll start off with the lot. Picked this up actually the day before the Super Bowl. I only needed 1 name in here, and it's not even a full name, but I had to pick up the lot. Never, like I said, I've got everything else sold except for the one that I want to keep. So, start off, we got Tuffy Lehmans. These are all on goal line art cards. Whoever got these, put these like either taped or glued to goal line art cards, which they're very nice. But a very nice Patty Driscoll. Very nice piece there. A very nice Benny Friedman. I saw this lot and there's just so many rare names in here. I'm like, I just need the one. We have a Link Lyman. Joe Stidahar. Yep, try not to bend those since I'm selling them. Then we have Ken Strong, probably the weakest name out of the entire lot, which is pretty telling. We have a Jim Konzelman. And then the one that I needed for my collection, it's last name only, but it's going to be a nice filler until I can get a full one. So this technically puts me at 6.5 names, I guess you could say, to complete the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But Guy Chamberlain, so nice piece there. I'm going to get it, authenticated by PSA at some point, but I have no doubt that it's legit. Came with a JSA letter of authenticity for the auction, but I'm sending that to the buyer, and I'll just get PSA to slab the Guy Chamberlain in the future. So yeah, 6.5 names, I guess you could say at this point, to complete the Hall of Fame. Next, we're going to talk about the 4 new Hall of Famers for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very small class, only 4 guys. I will say I'm very, very happy that Ralph Hay did not make it in. Very polarizing name as to making it in. People have complained and say, well, he did call these other teams outside of Ohio and get them to get this meeting in Ohio, but he basically organized a meeting, owned the Canton Bulldogs for 4 years, and then sold the team because he didn't want to pay his players. So with a reputation like that, I don't feel like he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but that's just my personal collection. Woo! My personal opinion. So, but I do have some stuff that'll be coming back from PSA once those are authenticated, but that'll probably be the next mail day. So for the 4 new guys, I didn't even realize he actually had some new cards out, which I'll have to pick one of those up. But for now, I have the Proline Classic 1996 of Eric Allen. That's kind of probably the big surprise name for the Hall of Fame this year. I picked this up on Check Out My Cards, like dirt cheap, I think a year or 2 ago, just in case, and didn't think you'd make it, but lo and behold, as I found out, never hurts to future-proof your collection. Next, this one is patches, plates and patches, 15 out of 30, Sterling Sharp. Unfortunately, runs off the card, and we all know how much that bugs the hell out of me, so probably be looking to upgrade that at some point, but at least I have him. I did not have to go out and track down any of these names beforehand. This one is nicely graded from SGC 2020 Panini Obsidian sticker auto, but it's a auto of 10, 9.5 grade, Jared Allen. Probably look to upgrade that to a nice game used patch auto at some point, but I picked that up a couple years ago, and it's like 16 out of 25. Picked that up a couple years ago, just to be prepared, because I knew he'd make it sooner or later, just didn't know how soon. And last but certainly not least, one that we kind of expected to make the Hall of Fame. Didn't get first ballot, I feel like, just because of the fact that he had that one positive PED test, so that probably is what kept him out as first ballot, but you knew he was going to make it sooner or later. But this one's out of what year? 2011, Topps 5-star, nice 3-color patch on-card autograph, 22 of 40, Antonio Gates. So don't really see the need to upgrade that at any point, unless I see something that just absolutely blows my mind, but it's actually game used instead of just player worn. So That's kind of the nice thing about the older products, that you actually get the game used stuff. Moving up next here, so we're not here all day. This is from 2007 National Treasures. Yes, 23 out of 25. One color, two color, two color, triple patch, sticker auto, gym auto. Black and white. I actually have a nice single color patch auto from 06 National Treasures. But it's the gray and black, which you don't see a whole lot. So I'm kind of torn. I really like this set, but at the same time, I like the gray and or the silver and black. So yeah, I'll decide on that one, which one's going to stay, which one's going to go. But either way. Next, talking about future-proofing the Hall of Fame collection. A bunch of these guys were either up recently for the Hall of Fame, names that could go in the Hall of Fame. Just kind of, you grab what you can for some of these guys. Chuck Halley being the perfect example. People used to laugh at me about Chuck Halley, like he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. Said maybe, maybe not. Mostly picked him up because he's a local guy. But I picked up a nice 3-color patch autograph, and now good luck finding one of those. And if you do, they go for good money. So I've had people begging me for that, and it's like, no, I picked that up for a reason. So we're going to start off here. I want to pick up a nicer one at some point, but this was a nice placeholder until I can. This is from 1992 Proline. God, my eyes are getting bad, I guess. Proline Portraits on-card autograph of Mike Holmgren. So I know he was a finalist this year. I kind of expected him to actually make it, but he did not. But again, future-proof the collection. Here's a nice one. Doesn't have a lot of autos out there. I think he only has 2 rookie autos. This is 116 out of 780 from Topps Unrivaled. What year is this? 2010 Topps Unrivaled. Trent Williams. So he doesn't have a lot of autos out there. Nice one here that I picked up in a trade. This is from Crown Royale. Game used jersey sticker auto. Kings of the NFL, Dallas Clark. That is 10 of 25. This is a good old 1997 Upper Deck Legend. This is actually a buyback from the college football, so they brought it back and re-released it in a pack. Harvey Martin. Another one that I wanted to pick up just in case from the Minnesota Vikings, Chuck Foreman. Of course, with the new voting thing, which I may talk about at the very end, so we're not here all day, you can listen to my thoughts on the whole new voting thing at the tail end. So if you stick around to the end, that's what you're going to get, is my whole thoughts on that process. But this one is, it's in a weird sleeve, so I can't look at the year on it. This is one of the new unlicensed, but he doesn't have much in the way of autographs out there. One of those, like, never know names, Nolan Cromwell. These cards are ugly as hell, but you grab what you can sometimes, and guys willing to trade that to me, I'm like, might as well pick it up just in case. Looking to upgrade this one, but here's the guys willing to trade to me. 80 out of 89, one of my old favorite products. This is 2005, back in my collecting heyday. Upper Deck Reflections, nice sticker auto of Fred Taylor. I remember buying a bunch of Reflections because of the nice patch autographs and that stuff. This one is Donruss. This is 2020. Linebacker Cornelius Bennett from the Bills. And the last 3 are actually quite nice. Again, future-proofing because you just never know. Actually, he's in the Hall of Fame. What the hell am I thinking? Yeah. But I'll throw it in with this part anyhow. So this is, first off, we have 3 out of 50 2008 Gridiron Gear. Again, another great product. Game used jersey auto of Rosie Greer. Not a lot of game used stuff out there. It's not impossible to find, but if I can find a nice 2-color patch at some point, I'll grab that. If not, so be it. This is from 2008 National Treasures. It's all one color, although the first one has stitching. The second one has stitching too, actually, but it's all one color. is the All Pros Mark Gastineau. Again, that's the case of future-proofing your collection because you just never know who they're going to put in. Eric Allen this year being the perfect example. And this one, I picked this up. I want to find a clean sticker, but so many people want way too much for it. But guy put out an offer on it, and I countered. And the very bottom, his J is cut off and a little smudge, but nice two color from the same set, the All Pro Joe Klecko. So I'm looking to upgrade that to a nice clean one. So if you find one at a reasonable price, let me know. I am looking to get that in a nice clean auto. So that is it for that part. Now, before we go talking about the new Hall of Fame selection process, which again, I'll get into that at the end. So if you really want to listen to me ramble, you can. First one is again another future proof. I already had him, which we'll get into that here in a second. And then 4 upgrades. So nothing really new other than the Guy Chamberlain, but so we'll start off with the future proof upgrade. This is a little bit more bold and a little nicer than the one I had. This is 4 out of 25 cut autograph of Clark Shaughnessy from the Rams. It's not super rare autograph, and he's got a fair amount of cuts out there. But finding a nice, bold, clean one like this, not always the easiest. So, probably paid a little more than it's really worth, but again, you future-proof the collection, and if he makes the Hall of Fame, it was well worth the investment. Next, was in a group on Facebook, and the guy put this up for sale, and I'm like, sold. Didn't even haggle. I even feel like this might have been my card back in 2017 before I sold it. I'm not sure. But this is from 2010 Leaf Limited. Again, another old stuff. Limited cuts. Nice, clean. I mean, about as clean as you're going to get of this player. Cliff Battles from the old Redskins. He has the National Treasures cuts, but they're always cut off. And while the card itself is nicer on the National Treasures, you're not going to find the nice clean cut like this. I'd rather have a clean cut like this than worry about the player's picture being on the card or anything like that. So, at times, I will take clean autograph over design of the card. It just all depends. This next one, I probably overpaid for this if I'm entirely honest. But still a nice clean cut autograph. All I had before was his 1977 touchdown card. This is a 2008 Sports Kings 1933 the year. George House. This was actually graded under the Wheeler collection. I'm not sure how many you're familiar with that old stuff. I actually think there's a video way back when of me opening a box of that. But nice clean cut autograph from an index card. Card is graded a 9, autographs a 10. George Hallis, and that's a 1 of 1. So it's Sports Kings, not the more other products. And at some point, if I could try, I might grab something out of a more mainstream product. But this is at least officially listed on Beckett, so it's still technically a pack release cut autograph. So, hey, plus picture on there. So, all right, these next 2. You might consider this one a downgrade, might consider it an upgrade depending on what you like. Again, how I was talking about card design versus clean autograph. The other card I have, which is actually sitting right here, is a 1 of 1, which is right now up on eBay for sale. So, player is Ernie Nevers. So this is the card that I had before, and is now up for sale. It's a 1 of 1. Autograph slightly cut off, not horribly. Could have been centered a lot better. But as you can see, is a 1 of 1 from National Treasures. So, been actually looking for one of these. This is from good old 2001 NFL Legends Legendary Cuts. And again, where it has a picture of the player on it, always is a nice touch. And the autograph, the S on the very end cuts off ever so slightly, but otherwise, about as clean of a cut you're going to find for Ernie Nevers. So, while it's not a 1-of-1, I think there's 20 some like that, maybe more, of this card that's been released. I just like the design and the cut on this better than the 1-of-1. So, while it's maybe not as valuable, still, for me, that's an upgrade. So if you're interested in the 1-of-1, you can comment and we can work something out, or you can just buy it on eBay, whatnot. So, last but certainly not least, before we go on the rant, this card came up. I saw it for sale on Instagram, and somebody that I've bought from before ends up going in and buying a bunch of this stuff. A bunch of which I liked, which that's where the Ernie Nevers came from. That's where the Greer came from. So, he had this, and I'm like, man, I'd love to have that. And I started looking into it. He's only got 2 ever pack-released cut autographs ever. Now, his normal autograph, it runs about 500, like on an index card, something like that. So not exceedingly rare, but not super common either. So he had it listed at one price. And I was like, man, I'd love to have that. And he's like, I'll sell it to you for this price, which is basically what the guy initially on Instagram was asking. So, you know, make it a couple bucks, which, hey, I couldn't at that time buy it and turn around and could now. So, yeah, I now have one of his 2 known cut autographs. If he has leaf cuts, it's not showing on Beckett, but he has one, I think, in, was it National Treasures? An older National Treasures, I believe. And then this one from 2021, Flawless Football, cut autograph 101, Joe Guyon. He played back in the old, like, Jim Thorpe days, everything like that. And, yeah, not a super common autograph, and even more rare when it comes to actual in-card cut autographs. So, yeah, unless they start mass-producing his autograph and cards, which I highly doubt, because let's face it, they don't focus much on the Hall of Famers as much anymore. Yeah, that's a keeper. I've already got the index card lined up to be sold to help me pay for this in the long run. But yeah, good old Joe Guyon from the New York Giants. I think he played for the Canton Bulldogs at one point too, if I'm not mistaken. So you're talking way back when. But he's listed officially on there as New York Giants. So, yeah, that's a big one. Paid more than I really wanted to, but again, if I didn't grab it, might never show up again, or at least not for years and years and years. And now that one's not going anywhere unless somebody offers me ludicrous sort of money for it. So, probably about 5 times what I paid. Then I might have to sell it and buy an index card again, but that's neither here nor there. So, thank you for sticking around. If you stuck around this long, for the rather long mail day yet again, quite a bit to show, quite a bit to put away now. So if you watched this far, I appreciate it. Thank you as always. Now, if you're sticking around, time for my rant. So it is rant time, so you can feel free to turn off if you'd like. So this new Hall of Fame selection sucks. So it used to be that they'd vote and they'd cut the list down, yada, 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 and then somebody had to vote yes or no. Well, they decided, well, let's redo this, and, you know, we'll get the names whittled down to the finalist list, and then people have to vote, and 80% of those vote have to vote for that player to get in. The finalist list this year for, like, the senior nominees, contributors, everything like that, one guy made it past the round of 7 to actually whittle down to where they would have maybe 3 people in. And that was Sterling Sharp. That was it. Nobody else made it. And, like, the modern guys, like, you would think they would try to get a modern wide receiver in to help whittle down, because you got Torrey Holt. You've got, next year you got Larry Fitzgerald coming in. Hines Ward's kind of borderline. I know. Being a Steelers fan, obviously, I feel like he should get in. Who else you got? I know I'm forgetting other names, but there's so many names right now in the backlog of wide receivers that should be making it into the Hall of Fame and haven't. So this new selection basically cut things down because of the fact that said, here's your list, vote on the ones you want in, but somebody has to get 80% to get in. And that's how we ended up with the class of 4. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we're not having classes of 10. But something needs reworked, because this is going to make it almost impossible for the senior nominees and contributors to make it in. Like, I mean, Jim Tyre, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame just based on his time on the field. And the rules are you're not supposed to vote based on what happened after the field. But there are people that are going to take that into consideration anyhow. But, you know, based on looking on his history and everything like that, when he played on the field, he was probably one of the best players of his era in that position. And so it's going to be almost impossible for him right now with the new voting system. Mike Holmgren, I figured would make it in this year. So many names that are going to be left hung out to dry again because of this new voting system. So I know a lot of people weren't happy about it, and there's been a lot of feedback about it, so they're looking into a possible new version next year. So we'll see if they can maybe find a nice happy medium or something. I don't know. It's not working this year, so that's pretty much it for my rant. It just kind of irks me a little bit. But, so, yeah, big old mail day. Short little rant. I don't think short. I don't know. I didn't time it. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys listening, looking. Feel free to leave comments, like if you like it, whatever. Next mail day will probably be whenever the PSA stuff comes back. Hasn't come back authenticated or not yet, but once it does and gets here, I'll probably post another mail day. Probably be a while before I pick anything else up, just because of the fact of that Joe Guillen was not cheap. So, but again, appreciate it. Hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.